Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, fans of Skytear. Welcome to episode 26 of the Skytear Sunday season. I am the Commander reporting in for duty. Joining me this afternoon is my co-commentator, Mataiz. Welcome.
Howdy, RG. I'm happy to be with you here this afternoon.
Likewise, it is a pleasure. So for this week, since we have taken a small break, it might be good to refresh our viewers where we're at in the series. So for this match, Kirito is the king with a 2-game win streak. His forced champion is Hokusai, and he has lost Akla and Takali. So some options starting to close up for him. Looking like he's gone for a fairly aggressive deck this game. Hokusai, of course, being forced, and you see bringing that out first. Kirito did win the coin flip before we started. And given our objectives, Obstinacy, Onslaught, and Right Breach, wants to try and unveil as little information as possible.
Yeah, and going into this, you're seeing a pretty uncharacteristic lineup out of him.
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of our number one thing we want to watch for here is just how is he going to actually manage to pilot this.
That is correct.
I don't think I've ever seen Kirito play a deck like this before.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm sure he has at some point, and I'm sure that we'll both get it, well, actually, later on in the day when he goes and backs and watches this, but as far as I'm aware, I've never seen anything other than like blue-green or some blue-yellow shenanigans coming out of him. So we'll have to see.
The most he could do is just theorize about Miyuki in the Discord over every single time we get a new change to the game.
This is true. On the other hand, we do have Kalibra bringing in also something a little bit more unusual for him. We've got Ishitosk, Vorhild, Tilakali, Nelaklin, Miyuki, and Shadris.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a pretty spicy end to that lineup.
Yes.
Having already drafted the Vorhild and the Nelaklin, and knowing it's Kalibra, I question whether or not that Ishitosk doesn't get on the board.
Yes.
But I'm really praying for that spicy side to this matchup to come out.
I am hoping we get a full rainbow here. Because if you deploy Miyuki and Shadris, like, we've got full rainbow power, and, of course, Nelaklin with his ability, when a pillar is out, color rune restrictions do not matter. He can play red, yellow, green, blue, any combination thereof, and just let people have it.
Yeah, and Vorhild's one of those heroes who really does not have a problem with dedicating her worship
Indeed.
to setting up pillars where Nelaklin needs them.
Absolutely. Now, unfortunately, the pillar ping won't work for Kalibra because it looks like the only hero with no armor is going to be a chemo, and I'm not sure that Ryan's going to bring that in this game. Although with the Onslaught objective, it does make sense to have an assassin, so we'll have to wait and see what his final draft... And there it is! We love to see it. Right, that is correct. Kalibra knows what the people want. You love to see it.
Yeah, and we do see him indexing kind of hard on his on his right lane here, preparing for potentially some sort of breach setup.
Yes.
But, we do know that so far neither of these decks have drafted a specialist.
Correct. Yami has been picked for Ryan, yeah. Which, Yami is a specialist at just killing everything, so I'm not sure if that classifies as such. Also, I did note that Ryan actually did not see that up there from Ryan, so there are actually 2 heroes with 0 armor, which means Vorhild was a fairly good choice, and Ryan seems to be dancing around whether or not to bring Kichi.
Yeah, and with that Kichi trying to defend in that right lane, maybe you can get some big setup or a big dreams play to pop it off. But I have a feeling that Vorhild's going to primarily be taking the role of someone safely able to advance and get in people's faces or weaken the dough.
I agree. All right, so we do have the final draft there set from Ryan and from Kalibra. So for Ryan, we're going to be running it down. Kichi, Hokusai, Miyuki, and Yami. Over on Kalibra's side, Vorhild, Shadris, Nelaklin, and Miyuki. So we now have the conflict of the stage where... do I root for Yami to win or for Ryan to crash and burn?
I mean, I'm going to root for pure rainbow no matter who's bringing it.
That's fair. You know, I think we're going to phrase it in that context here. There is rainbow on the field, and we don't get to see a lot of rainbow, to be totally honest. And actually, I'm not going to say it because I forget exactly how far we are along with the spoilers. So we're just going to halt that train of thought for right now.
I mean, we are currently nowhere with the spoilers, so
right.
I would halt that train completely.
Well, we actually have given a little bit of tidbits. Like, we spilled the 2 heroes' names. Like, if you go to the lore index, you can see that the new heroes are called, like, Doomies and Kohai, which I hope I'm pronouncing right, and hopefully I am. But I'm just going to call Doomies Pebbles because it sounds better. So we're looking forward to that, but I'm not sure if we gave any information about the cards, so we'll just have to wait and see. Although we are looking to get Tim on Outsiders Only, shameless plug for our podcast. Eventually, unfortunately, there were some scheduling conflicts. We weren't able to record this morning like we'd originally intended, but we are trying to get Tim on so that we can talk about the card he designed as his prize for being the 2020 World Champion. The artwork is phenomenal, and that's all I can say about that.
So we do see Kirito here taking his mulligan and actually dropping a Release the Spirits into Vorhild. Kind of a bold decision, I'm not going to lie.
I agree.
Could signal he has the second one in hand, or just that he's not actually worried about that onslaught victory condition at all.
Indeed. So Ryan did actually send his list prior to the game, so let's take a peek and see what we actually get to work with here based off of his hero selection. So omitting those two. So with Ryan, we have a 0.9 average modifier and a 2.05 average mana. So we have 2 Call of the Week, 3 Dance of Death, 2 Decree of Karumo, 3 Karumo Judgment, 2 Life Steal, 3 Quick Shot, 3 Redirect, 3 Sinkhole, 3 Soul Scream. Wait a minute, that's not right. He doesn't have Shameless. Hold on a minute. Let me try this again. 2 Clear Mind, 2 Call of the Week, 3 Dance of Death, 2 Decree of Karumo, 2 Doomed, 3 Karumo Judgment, 2 Life Steal, 3 Lore of the Tainted, 3 Redirect, 2 Release the Spirits, 3 Sinkhole, 3 Soul Scream, 3 Vendetta, and 3 Where Faith Falls. So there are some aggressive cards in there because Decree of Karumo, Dance of Death, you can combo some cards here and stack up damage pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the interesting spot that Karumo has slotted in with after the Breach, where now you don't see that signature super high modifier deck as much, but rather decks rounding themselves around Dance of Death or the Tainted.
Yes. And Ryan doing something totally unconventional here, moving Yami out, going for a skirmish action to stomp on a minion, and then presumably leading or attacking afterwards. We have never seen this kind of play.
I mean, this is truly innovative.
This may be why he only plays blue-green, because all of the secret tech he didn't want to show for us.
And so we do have the first kill of the minute.
Yep, minion died.
Whose minion is which color? This should be the other one, right?
So here's the problem. Ryan's minions are red when he's blue player, and Kalibra's minions are blue when he's green player. So I think that is the way it's going to work here. Is that Kalibra's minions are blue? Ryan just kind of killed off his own minion.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure.
Indeed.
Maybe that guy's just so used to seeing blue minions on his side of the field, he didn't recognize.
To be fair, when I'm not the green player, it does throw me for a loop as well because I always default to green. Even though I play red yellow, but.
So now Kalibra going to be looking at his first activation here. Looks like he's selected Vorhild.
Indeed. Interesting choice because Hokusai can still damage Vorhild even if she shapeshifts with the Purifying Flame, given that it is not a targetable action.
Yeah. And I'm surprised that he was immediately taking the attack to Yami.
Okay, so we're just going to try and shoot down the heroes. To be fair, Onslaught is on the field. Dead heroes can't lead, nor can they defend your lane.
Yeah, so if his goal here is just damage, then Vorhild makes a lot of sense to me, considering she's the safest one to bring forward.
Yes.
I would not want my Melton out there yet.
No, definitely not.
And maybe he has some sort of way that he's planning on protecting her with Shadris. And they're going a little bit wrong.
Well, we do have the worship action down and the shape-shifting effect, so she can't be targeted at least. Again, obviously can still get hit with all of the worship effects. Purifying Flame, Miyuki's kind of going to slow and reduce her damage. Not necessarily going to matter this round, but for next round.
Yeah, and into these pure red lists, like she's by far her most vulnerable between just outside of even release. Like you said, the Hokusai and Yami worship, but also cards like Lure of the Tainted can poke through her and get that extra bit of damage in.
Absolutely. Lore is also another one of those within 3 as opposed to target heroes, which means Lore would damage her as well. And with 0 armor and only 13 hit points, the lowest of the Skytear heroes right now, that is going to be okay, Miyuki's going forward.
Yep. Gonna get herself a worship in.
Now, does she slow and control Vorhild, or is she going to go after one of the other heroes and try to prevent them from entering the competition? So the problem is that all of the heroes can just, even if you slow any of Kalibra's heroes that have not really taken an action, all they can do, they can still go for a skirmish action, a attack action on the outside minion, regardless of whether it's in lane 1 or 2, and then lead. So not really able to fully utilize.
With someone like Shadris, I'm sure he'd be very content to still just step into the dome, drop his worship out there, and then lead in there.
Indeed, absolutely. So, okay, so it is going to be on Miyuki. Interesting. So Ryan is saying, you know what, I don't want your Miyuki coming into the area and messing things up. So we're going to go ahead and put slow and mark on Kalibra's Miyuki.
Mm-hmm. And this does mean that he's going to have a harder time influencing that right lane.
Yes.
Especially if he's trying to get into a position to really inhibit that Hokusai from doing anything.
Mm-hmm. And we do see a lead from the hand, so right now likely Ryan having a control value of 4 inside the dome. Does Kalibra choose to match it, or will he give the dome up? Because of course the outsider original is the outsider for this particular game, and we all know the versatility and strength of being able to drop the big boy down on the field.
Mm-hmm. And having kind of this wide rainbow set where each individual worship is presumably pretty worthwhile. I guess outside of Nelliclin during the minion phase. But the OG being able to get those double worships off of Shadris and Warfield can be huge.
Yes, especially if once Kichi starts moving forward, being able to remove a pillar and place pillars, start just like plink chipping away at Kichi, boom, 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 and then all of a sudden you can headshot him as well, since Kalibra has made it very clear that despite the objectives, aggression is still on the table.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny that we're saying that when we technically have 2 kill objectives.
That's very true, yeah.
Tearing down the right breach, I mean, it's also the fact that Kalibra does still have the he does still have the breach advantage.
Indeed.
Having the lane 1 for himself.
Correct.
So putting that damage into Yami can be totally fine so long as he just wins this lane by 1.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see what happens here. So Miyuki is going to activate here, and let's see what she can do. So she's going to go for the move action, only 1. Interesting. Does she skirmish over into the dome, or does she worship on the other Miyuki? Okay, so we are going for the skirmish action, but is she going to stay in the dome? She is going to stay in the dome. Interesting. Okay, and a worship. Very nice. And go for the worship action on Hokusai. Okay, so preventing Hokusai from being able to run in and start damaging Vorhild. Very nice.
Yeah, so Kalibra having the last activation this turn is going to make things kind of awkward for Kirito here.
Correct.
Because the fact that Hokusai now has that slow on him is not going to be able to really... Well, I mean, his move, if he tries to go for lane, doesn't change too much.
Right.
But it puts him further out of position on a later turn.
At best, he could probably make his way over to the cover hex, go for a lead... Oh, I guess Yami did not lead, so he could go for a lead action, perhaps in the bush. Or, of course, just go ahead and worship and start doing some chip damage to Miyuki.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, we don't know Kalibra's list.
Correct.
And importantly, we don't know if he's running fast.
That is correct. Kalibra did not follow the rules of Skytear Sunday and submit the deck list. Although, to be fair, Kalibra also thought he had 2 more hours and then just randomly picked this deck list about 3 minutes before we went on air.
Yeah, it's forgivable.
It is.
But if he does have that fast, then that slow on Hokusai can mean things get very, very different in terms of how this math plays out.
Okay, so we do see the worship action on Hokusai there, going to go ahead, deal 1+ piercing damage to both himself and Miyuki.
Mm-hmm. And then likely going to skirmish in to get a little bit of extra chip damage on her.
Mm-hmm. As she no longer has armor, given the fact that the Hokusai has line of sight to her. Alright, so 2 damage to both Hokusai and Miyuki, takes Miyuki to 14, Hokusai to 15, and then I assume we see the skirmish come down?
Yeah, I gotta guess.
Yeah. Because Miyuki already led in the dome, so there isn't any reason to lead there, so skirmish action here makes total sense.
Yeah, and you'd rather not leave your heroes on the edge of the dome here with Shadris in play.
Correct.
Just letting yourself get shoved would not be ideal.
And 1 more to Miyuki. One of the things that we haven't seen a lot, is that armor reduction due to the fact that Hokusai does require line of sight, whereas pretty much everyone else... Oh!
Where Faith Falls comes down on Hokusai.
Very nice. Keeping him marked. And slowed. All right, so let's. Oh yeah, I have a thing that actually brings up cards. How about that? Where Faith Falls is a 1-mana yellow card here, and as we can see, keeps the conditions on for the hero unless they are defeated. Obviously, everyone's still got double-digit HP. No one's getting defeated. But the important part of this card is that you get to draw another card. So Kalibra does not lose any hand size control off of this play.
Yeah, and so we do now see that initial Yami play and kind of the fork where Norhild uses her attack on Yami there is starting to beg the question here for Kalibra. Kirito has all but given up on his right lane for this turn.
Yes.
So as a result, he's getting that advantage on the dome pile and having just that little bit of minion advantage in that right lane for Kirito, or Kalibra's right lane for Kirito, is making things kind of a rough choice. You can see him now debating between his Shadris and his Nelaquin, choosing his Nelaquin to activate, probably putting him in a more vulnerable position.
Agreed.
Maybe just so that Shadris has a chance to push. Like it's not feeling good.
No.
That way.
All right, so
So he
Shadris.
does end up activating Shadris.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so Shadris comes out. Let's see what happens here. Now, you could, I guess, push Miyuki just to, like, displace her and set it up for next round. But again, you're correct. Like, pretty much no matter what you do here, it feels bad. But you can't activate Nelaquin because otherwise Kichi comes in, slaughters you, and then Yami's poised to go ahead and damage you at the start of Ryan's second turn.
Yeah, he now basically has to accept that he's losing one of these.
Oh!
One of these two things.
Oh, we have another Where Faith Falls. This one from Ryan's Miyuki. Okay.
No,
Wait.
that
was just on the stack. Okay, yeah.
That was just replacing his own.
Yep, okay. That was on the stack.
And so there's his lead.
Okay.
He had not actually looked yet.
Correct. All right, and we do see the worship action there to shove Miyuki. Again, positional advantage is okay, but doesn't really get us much more than that, so...
Yeah, so now Kirito has his choice here of which he is going to win. I mean, if he moves that Kichi into the dome, then he's guaranteed at least the lane or the dome. It's kind of dealer's choice.
Right,
Here.
right, exactly.
If he goes all in on the lane, then he accepts that that's exactly the one he's going to win. So we'll see
Right.
which he prioritizes, slowing the breach or getting that little bit more of onslaught damage.
Right, and as Kalibra, I would no, Ryan's contesting the dome, and I think this is the correct choice, because the outsider would do substantial amounts of damage to Kichi.
Yeah.
And then Red, notoriously not big on life. Now, obviously, of course, Kichi does have his healing abilities, and we did mention Ryan has some lifesteal cards. But given the damage that Kalibra's packing, it could set it up to the place where you're trying to save Kichi, and that takes away resources from trying to advance your win conditions.
Yeah, and having that the knockback with all these heroes being slowed on Kirito's side, getting like that Hokusai knocked back across the map can be pretty huge for him basically losing a turn.
Yes.
I think trying to avoid it's probably the right call here. Now the question is going to be whether or not Kalibra cares to tie that dome, or if he's okay with losing a little bit of his lane.
Ooh. Okay, so Kichi is going to go ahead and attack Miyuki for 5 damage. Ouch.
Ooh.
But Shadris is going to absorb it, brings him to 12 instead of Miyuki down. Probably a good choice there, because Miyuki would have gone to 7, and that sets her up for a turn 2 kill there. So Shadris, being the stalwart guardian that he is, says, nope, I got you, fam. We'll take the damage. And basically now, as you mentioned, so Kalibra gets the choice. Does he concede the dome and win the lane, because you can go move up, pop off a minion, and then lead with Nelaquin? Yami did not lead, which means you know that Kirito would have a lead value of 2. Or do you go in, give Kirito the dome, or give Kirito lane 1, but tie the dome, which means no outsider?
Yeah, and I mean, Kalibra hasn't really used enough cards out of his hand to be too worried about losing lanes in that way.
Right.
He'll still go into the next turn with a full hand, assuming he doesn't play too many more cards right now.
Right.
But it's just you're now all in basically on onslaught. You have to outrace Kirito in that curve of damage.
Yes. And honestly, damage, trying to DPS race Red, risky proposition.
Yeah, I wouldn't really want to make that bet.
Like, I mean, I know Vorhild's a marksman and she does good damage, and Nelliklin's a mage and all, but like, you've got Yami, you've got Kichi, and the thing too is Miyuki's sitting there. Like, Ryan could easily just have Caged Soul and on turn 3 be like, no, you do not get to kill me. So,
I mean, already just having the kind of Miyuki health point advantage.
Yes.
Puts that race in such a contentious spot.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I don't blame Kalibra for having to sit on this decision right here.
Yeah, this is, oftentimes you look back at games and you're like, well, it was a close game throughout and a lot of little different decisions. And then you look at other games and it's like, there's one defining moment where you can say that player A really got to jump over player B, and that was it. And
yeah.
Sometimes you don't really recognize that until you look at it in hindsight, but I think this might be one of them. If Kalibra gives up the dome, I think that the outsider is going to give Ryan a lot of damage pressure, and then Kalibra is going to be the one that's scurrying to save his hero instead of advancing his win conditions.
Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy that just that one attack on Yami makes all the difference here.
Yes.
Because if Kalibra does attack that minion, then he's opened up to just move, attack the other minion, skirmish into the dome,
Yep.
and it's all ties all around.
Yep.
So you gotta ask yourself, were those 2 points of damage on Yami worth your while?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going for the skirmish action. No target moves into there. Oh! Now there's a card we haven't seen for a while. Some brutal precision. Now Nelliklin is within range, which means that he can use any color like we mentioned, and brutal precision is a red card. Wait.
Yeah, so he casts it and then moves into the dome. He's gonna hit Hokusai.
Yep. Alright, so Hokusai is about to take 5+ piercing damage. Brutal precision, a fairly straightforward card. It just gives you +2 attack and +1, so 6 piercing damage. Does bring Hokusai down to 9 HP there.
Yeah, I mean, so he's decided he wants to dedicate to the race. He wants to go for it. And I mean, if you're packing cards like Brutal Precision, like, they're simple.
Yeah, it's about as simple as you get. I do more damage now.
And so, here we go with Yami getting herself that push in the lane.
Yep.
We'll see how that ends up snowballing as the game goes on. So, that Kirito actually pressuring that lane is really going to amount to cards.
Yes.
In terms of how this game turns out, while his own right breach is just completely off the table. I cannot see him really turning that before an onslaught hits the board.
Would you mind telling me what Ryan led with there? It flashed up 3, but it didn't tell me what the actual card was, and I don't want to...
He flashed with a Soul Scream, so
Okay.
he has dropped both of his Soul Screams, or 2 Soul Screams already. One from a flip, and then one off of that lead just there.
Okay, good to know, because Ryan still does have the flux, so, a turn 2 Soul Scream, very possible from Kichi to deal up to 7 piercing damage to quite a few people. Big damage there. But of course also Hokusai on the field means you might do a turn 2 Sinkhole. Everybody's favorite play.
I mean, I sense some sarcasm in your voice. I don't understand why. That is my favorite play.
No, there's no sarcasm here at all, sir. None in the slightest. Also, Don Kratos, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
So Kirito chooses to pitch a Kuruma's Judgment to get his hand back down to 7.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, too, that Kalibra might have also factored in, is, okay, if I let Ryan win the lane, he's going to have to discard something. So, oftentimes you get that draw where you look at your hand and you're like, yeah, I can do without this one. But sometimes you really get those 8 cards and you're like, boy, I wish I could keep every single one of them.
Yeah. And, I mean, we did talk about earlier where Kirito is running a fairly high average mana for a red deck here. So pitching that one Kuruma's Judgment, I can assume that he's got at least 2 other 3s in his hand.
Indeed, and one of them's probably Sinkhole.
What's even worth leading with? Yeah, one of them probably is Sinkhole.
One of them is probably the Sinkhole. Whatever Kalibra's planning, I hope he does it based on the assumption that Kirito has a Sinkhole. Now, the good thing is, only one of Ryan's heroes can play Sinkhole, which means if Kalibra has any of the mana burn cards, Doom, Down to Earth, etc., if you just play that on Hokusai, you no longer have to worry about Sinkhole.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you've got your alternative route of just kill the Hokusai.
Also true. Dead heroes can't play Sinkholes.
So now we're seeing Kirito thinking on his start to the activation.
Indeed.
We do know he has a slowed and marked Hokusai and Miyuki.
Yes.
So their damage potential is going to be lowered. And I can see how you might want to... I mean, these kind of kill in the dome games always feel like such a strange little dilemma where you don't want to activate anybody for fear that they just get instantly blown up afterwards.
Right, and then you're stuck with getting them respawn 2 turns later. I agree.
Yeah.
Just our friend Leo Zars there says it's going to be a brutal game. I agree, because we've got a dome pile. You love to see it.
And to think just how much better this dome pile would have been if Ryan had manned up a little bit.
Yeah, seriously. Jeez, Ryan, way to go. To be fair, though, if he gives that, then I assume Kalibra goes first, and I assume Ryan was afraid of the turn 1 presence because he saw we had both Ishitosk and Vorhild and Nelaklin. So,
I mean, it's an understandable thing to be worried about.
We're still going to make fun of him for it, but it is at least understandable.
Yeah. And I mean, the OG being in the game, it does make for those dome piles to be a completely different way. Just the fact that he's a wall in those types of fights.
Yes.
Makes things so much more different.
Yes. So, if I'm Ryan, one of the things you can do is if you just have Yami go and clear out the minions and then worship onto Vorhild, perhaps. You can start chipping away at her and get rid of the minions. You do move, attack, worship. That cleans up all the minions. So it gives you pressure in lane 1. Of course, you're not going to win by breach, but it does set you up for a potential Nexus destruction play.
Yeah. I mean, if you go for that, like you're saying, then you've got 5 in that lane, and you're forcing Vorhild to have to respond to it.
Correct. She has to do something, or it's auto tower destroy. Which, to be fair,
at minimum, you get an attack out of her.
Yes. But instead, it looks like we might be activating Kichi here.
So he does have the activation token on Miyuki.
Oh, he did put it on Miyuki. You're right. Yes. Okay. So,
We'll see if that actually ends up happening, though.
Right. That's very true. So, if I'm activating Miyuki here, I feel like the answer is we go after Nelaklin. Kalibra has already demonstrated that he's got red cards that he's willing to use with Nelaklin to pump up his damage. And so you can at least stop the flips and deal slight damage reduction because Hokusai not looking too sharp here. If Kalibra has something spicy for us here, 9 damage to Hokusai, very possible with a activation from Nelaklin.
Yeah. And so we do have Miyuki opening with a skirmish to the other Miyuki. Gonna get some chip damage in.
One more. Is Shadris going to take it, though?
Yeah.
I mean, Shadris is at 12, Miyuki's at 13, so it's, not the biggest loss there if you take it, but go ahead and equalize the damage. Okay, makes perfect sense either way, really. Worship action?
Yeah. I mean, so 11 to me feels like a much more dangerous position than 12 when you're looking down a flux.
True.
If only because of an attack and a soul scream.
Yes.
So we assume Kichi's attack rolls high and he hits for 5, and then his soul scream rolls high and hits for the 6. Then sitting at 11 makes you a lot more vulnerable.
This is true. Very good points. All right. We did see the worship coming down on Nelaklin, trying to neuter some of that damage there. And, Nelaklin plays freeze? Okay, we love to see it. We love to see the new cards. Okay, let's get freeze out on the screen here. So, freeze. If the target hero has disarm, reduce all damage they cost to 0. Otherwise, apply a disarm to them. So, in this case, we're going to disarm Miyuki, bringing her down to 0 damage plus a flip. Oh, wait a minute.
Have another where it falls or something? Like, why would he play it? I mean, so that does mean the attack just deals no damage.
Well, it'll do 0 plus, right? Since Miyuki's not marked, she'll still get to flip.
She was marked. She was marked. He's just ended the activation and removed all the conditions.
Oh, Ryan already exhausted. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. So yeah, 0 damage on the offensive play there. Very nicely done.
Overflow.
Ooh, jeez. Okay, what is this? I actually need to look this up because I don't know. Is that the draw 3, discard 2?
Draw 3, discard 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Kalibra's got hella spice.
We love to see it. Like this is the kind of chili where they put in like 15 different spices and you can taste each one of them individually. We love to see it. We love to see it. Also, hello to you too, mean lady. It is great to see you. And I mean that sincerely. So, Overflow. Draw 3 power cards, then discard 2 from your hand. Yeah, so it's kind of like the, what's it called? Graceful Charity. Shout-outs to those of us who played Yu-Gi-Oh! 15 years ago.
Yeah, pitches 2 amulets of immovability. So, I can see now kind of where when you're running this type of rainbow deck, and you can kind of get clogged up on one color that you can't play a lot of.
Yes.
Overflow's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
And we also now see that he's running not just the Where Faith Falls for his cantrips, but he's also bringing Amulet of Immovability. I mean, it's an interesting deck list.
Yes. I'm not sure what the point is, but nevertheless, we love to see it. All right, Vorhild marching into the Battle Dome. Now, Hokusai has armor, which means Vorhild is going to abandon the lane, which, by the way, we talked about earlier, so I'm assuming someone else is going to go over there to take her place.
Yeah, I assume this attack's got to go into Kichi.
No, he pinged Hokusai. What?
Okay. So that's going to be for an effective 1+ a flip.
Right. Unless something else is coming out? Like, do we have some kind of, like, armor buster here?
Somebody got Smelt Armor?
I don't think there's anything here that... We can't use Smelt Armor. Oh, wait, yeah! Shadris could use Smelt Armor, actually.
Yeah, Shadris or Miyuki could cast it, but I don't...
Right. Nope.
Okay, so no, it's just a raw attack.
Okay.
So he gets 2 damage on the
Okay.
side.
A little more chip damage. Makes it, again, even further less likely to use that Purifying Fire on anybody.
Yeah. And Kalibra is going to worship. Get a little bit of ping damage onto Kichi, but more notably, get Meliquin live.
Yes.
For any cards he wants to play.
Mm-hmm. All right, and we're going to ping Kichi. Yep, as you said. So Kichi to 13, but most importantly, Meliquin able to worship and use more mana. And so if I'm Ryan, the positioning of that token, that pillar, suggests to me that we absolutely want to clean off Meliquin's mana and do something with it. So what could be coming out? Unburial Rites would help defend the lane. I'm not sure that that's the right use there because you'd have to move and skirmish. Yeah, also, I forgot, Kalibra's Brazilian. He doesn't use -1s.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's got another 1 mana that he's concerned about playing before he clears his mana. So it could be like a Brutal Precision, again, coming down. And that would put Hokusai in kill range of a single attack.
Yes, yeah, because with that piercing damage, absolutely, yeah, we could see Hokusai going down, or we could just, stack things. You might have a clear mind, perhaps, which would give you the benefit of the attack and the removal of the condition, so then we would do 4 plus the flip there. So again, it is lethal with a +3. Lots of possibilities here. This deck has endless possibilities, and Mean Lady, it is good to see you agreeing that this is a great 4-color deck. Mateus and I have been enjoying this very much so far. At least I have. I don't want to presume to speak for you, but it sounds like you've been enjoying it as much as I have as well.
It's great.
Oh, but we have a Dance of Death
from Hokusai. So
okay,
this is going to be his big play, and also notably, Sinkhole off the table.
Yes, this is literally him going out with a blaze, and I don't mean that with a pun. Because this is going to require him to use his Purifying Flame to kind of get the most of it, but Hokusai is a triple flipper, which means Dance of Death is good on him.
All 4 heroes marked right now.
Correct. That would be very brutal if Ryan pops the flex and uses Judgment of Karumo with Kichi.
Which it is an action card, right?
Correct, yes. So he would need someone else to play it.
Oh, and a Vendetta comes out as well.
Oh, that's huge. So
Yeah,
Vendetta.
this is big.
So Vendetta is going to, after targeting Meliquin, give Hokusai 6 plus a flip, which means someone's gonna die.
Yeah, and once he gets that frenzy, that's going to be boosted even further up to 8.
Correct.
But he is still marked under Miyuki.
So,
But that's just 7 damage raw.
So here's the thing. Vendetta gives you +4, but after the skirmish action gives you the frenzy and the additional +1. Because remember, with Dance of Death, if you're already frenzied, you get a +1. So I'm not sure exactly what we're at, but the answer is someone's dead.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, a raw 8 damage attack.
Yeah, 8 or 9 off. Let's do some math here. So 2 from the frenzy, 4 from that, +1. Yeah, it's going to be 9+. Ouch.
Yeah. So,
oh boy. Bye, Miyuki.
Yeah.
Nuclear impact.
Spread this damage a little bit between Shadris and Miyuki if he's worried about getting another activation in or something.
Yep, okay, and that's what it looks to be. Miyuki will take this, and then Shadris is going to tank the incoming nuclear bomb.
Yeah, so this does put Hokusai at 9 attack.
Yeah. Oh! You know, you love to see it. Like, I know we were rooting for the rainbow deck, but, like,
so this
is disgusting.
Miyuki, though. He's going to be down by 1.
Oh, but we have a flex pop and another Vendetta! Oh, jeez! Oh my god. This is round 2, mean lady. I apologize. We forgot to move up the token. Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Oh, so that's another +4 onto this particular offensive strategy. This is guaranteed lethal. This is guaranteed lethal.
He gets the choice. It's going to be Shadris or Miyuki. Wow.
Oh my lord. You know what? This is very well played by Ryan. Like,
yeah.
I can't say anything other than that. This is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to get around that Miyuki mark, right?
Correct.
Just boost your damage. So
I can't flip? I don't care. I'm still going to punch you in the face for 12 damage. Oh, okay, so this is 13 damage, and...
Oh, what the heck? Maybe we can't do math.
I mean, that's a possibility here, but I'm pretty sure... I wonder if he thinks that because Shadris is taking it, that he gets Shadris' armor. So let's see. So Vendetta gave 8 total.
Yeah.
Frenzy gives you another 2, so that's 10 bonus.
He gets the +1,
which is canceled out by Miyuki, so we're back down to 10. So that's but plus Hokusai's base 2, that's 12. So we were right. I don't know how Shadris is alive. I'm assuming that he took and added Shadris' armor, which is not correct.
12 to 2.
Because 12 damage on the Miyuki is absorbed by Shadris, and it's HP loss, and that should have killed Shadris. But okay.
Hey, that's the risk you run playing this math deck right here. All right.
That is true.
Gotta be able to calculate your own math. Or maybe he might have cast that second Vendetta not on Nellican. Maybe he cast it on one of the just marked heroes.
I mean, that's possible. That would be very strange, yeah, because they're all within line of sight. I'm not sure. Meanwhile, we do see the Where Faith Falls coming down. Wait, why is the Scourge of Puito showing as our outsider? That's not correct.
I don't know.
That makes me upset.
So, if he puts this Where Faith Falls onto Hokusai, all that tells me is there is his own Vendetta.
Correct. Yes, because Nellican can play it. And then we just kaboom Hokusai with a 9+. Or I'm sorry, with an 8 damage attack because of the mark on...
Even Miyuki could do it.
Yeah, honestly, Miyuki could kill too. Miyuki...
No, she does still have to worry about the other Miyuki mark on her.
Right, so let's see. So even if so that's 6+, so that would give her 8 minus 1 puts 7. Hokusai would live with 1 HP there, unfortunately. That is a shame. Okay, so what do we got here?
Go with Nellican.
Nellican, here it is. Do it! Do it! There's the worship. Show me worship. All right, so unfortunately, oh no! Vorhild is within range of Kichi, which means it's time to chip on Kichi.
Mm-hmm.
Which means 2 damage, 1 for the removed pillar and 1 for the placed pillar. That's going to clean off the mana. Show us what you got, Kalibra. Show me Vendetta!
A freeze? Does he have Call the Weak?
Ooh, that would also be very spicy if we had Call the Weak.
out of...
So, poor Hokusai now has 8 conditions on him.
There's the vendetta.
Okay, so he wanted to make it very clear. No! You hate to see it! Ryan, why? No, you know what? Every little bit of praise that you got from the last play, no. You hate to see the redirect. Oh, no. So he's going to click on Miyuki, who has absolutely no conditions, and completely fizzle the effect.
I mean, he can still kill Hokusai, potentially with an attack and a skirmish.
Yeah, but it's...
really good, but...
no, he can't because of Miyuki.
Yeah.
Oh. Fun has been canceled. You know, I feel like Ryan, I feel like, is the kind of person that enjoys sending out the emails saying, reminder, everyone, we have a meeting in 10 minutes, and then the CEO goes back and says, thanks, Ryan, I almost forgot about this meeting.
This is a really specific experience, but, you know, I'm inclined to believe
Alright, so we do see the attack and the skirmish actions there. So the attack will deal 2 damage, the skirmish deals 1 damage, both piercing, so Hokusai does drop down to 3. Ryan doing a very good job preventing both Fun and the Hokusai death, and now actually putting Kalibra in a very, very difficult spot here, given the fact that Vorhild went into the dome. Yami is pretty much going to be able to uncontestedly run free in lane 1. She can move, she can attack the minion, then she can actually worship on someone and move into the dome and just deal 4 tower damage if that's the option for Ryan.
Yeah, and I mean, he has to clear that Hokusai if he doesn't want to risk losing the dome here, because his Shadris is done.
That is correct. There is very little hope left for Shadris, because Kichi has to activate, Kichi does piercing, it is a guaranteed kill on the Shadris.
I mean, like, maybe he has some next level spice right here and he's going to soul exchange us or something.
If he does, that would be the first time I've ever seen that card played. Like, even in that MOBA draft format stuff that we did for the Clash a couple months ago, when you picked heroes that had that card, you still didn't play it. You used it as a lead or you threw it away.
So now Kichi coming out, he does have the piercing.
Yep.
And just a single attack, even through Miyuki, if he somehow gets marked, will do the kill.
Lord of the Tainted. Okay, so we're not even going to... Wait. Okay, so we're going to worship onto Neliclin.
5?
Ooh. Yikes. Ouch.
Basically crafting his next 2 activations.
Mm-hmm. So Kalibra has to know, does he have a response here? I'm not really sure what you can do at this point. To be totally honest.
I mean, there's not really a way to mass cleanse. Well, actually, there is a way to mass cleanse all these conditions. It's called Purge and Purify, and I don't think that would help him out very much here.
No, it would not! What could you be... I mean, I guess if there's a Release the Spirits, you could play Release the Spirits, and then prevent Neliclin from gaining the mark in the first place, which would shut down Lure. That is a possibility, from Shadris.
Yeah, you could play it off of...
or Miyuki.
Yeah. Just playing it off of Shadris means that you get to basically shut down this Lure of the Tainted for the turn, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that's just...
I'm still bitter over that redirect. You hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get angry. Like, that's what the card's for.
Right, exactly. I mean, it was very well done by Ryan. Shame.
Quick question.
No.
Stop. So when Lure of the Tainted resolve or the worship resolves, do I predict first or flip for Lure of the Tainted first?
The worship action goes on the stack, and the lore proc also goes on the stack. I think you get to order them because they're both as a result of the worship action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure you can order it. Mm-hmm. All right, back to dunking on Ryan. So anyways... Wait, he's still... Ryan, go away. Thank you. Okay, good. Now, back to dunking on Ryan. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, actually very important here, because with this mark, Kichi will get to predict 5. Kichi's ability lets you predict 1 plus X, where X is the number of targets that are marked within 3 hexes of Kichi, and since Kalibra's entire team is marked, that is 5, which means Ryan can dig for that +3.
Yeah, I mean...
And Mean Lady, you actually can do that. Mean Lady says, I wish you could redirect a redirect, and you actually can do that. So you wait for the first redirect to resolve, and so the new target is assigned, then you do the redirect, and you just reassign it back to the original target. So you absolutely can redirect. And honestly, you love to see it happen because no one has fun when their abilities get redirected.
I mean, it's like anti-fun just cancels out anti-fun. I mean,
Right.
You do math.
Exactly.
Right?
And
The negatives make a positive.
that's right, and we're back to fun. When anti-fun shuts down anti-fun, we're back to fun. And honestly, when you play Skytear, having fun is what is important.
Yeah. And here we do see Kirito carefully stacking his next 5 cards.
Going through half of his remaining deck thanks to the prediction.
And so he only chooses to get rid of 1. So we
Interesting.
can imagine these next 4 must have some decent modifiers.
Or are cards that he wants to draw after the kills. Okay, so +1 there on the flip there. So Nelliclin will take 4 damage. So I forgot to put up Lore of the Tainted, because Ryan interrupted me very rudely. Lore of the Tainted, we did talk about it briefly earlier, but when the caster, when the hero within 3 hexes of the caster gains marked, they deal X+, where X is the number of damage. So that's how Nelliclin got 4. We also then go ahead and see the skirmish attack there, killing off the Shadris because +2 on the flip. Ryan, of course, had that one stacked. Draws the 3rd card. So the 4th card, Ryan also knows what that is as well, so I assume that's probably a high modifier.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ouch. And that is, of course, 1 onslaught point for Ryan. You need 3 to win the game.
And pumps this last attack into Miyuki? Yep.
Okay. Yep. And there's the +3, as you said, and that's going to be 6 damage, bringing Miyuki to 3, which means Hokusai can kind of just grab her and say, we're going down together, kaboom, kaboom. Actually, you don't even need to do that.
That's in Kuro's judgment range.
Yeah. You could actually just attack her and not have to worry about that.
Yeah. So now Yami is going to be this final activation for Kirito and has the ability to go and kill a Miyuki.
I was going to say, actually, yeah, with Yami, honestly, I think you move over 1 minion just to give yourself more lane presence, worship onto the Miyuki, and then you attack her, because that guarantees the kill, because Miyuki has no armor. So even if you flip +0s, I mean, obviously, if you have a -1 in here, then that doesn't matter. But as long as you flip something that is not a -1 on either one of those flips, then Miyuki dies.
Yeah. And then you're left with the OG as well.
Yeah. So you just goes...
Kalibra has not led.
No. And that means that the OG will come out, you just shoot Nelliclin, and then you activate first round of turn 3, and it's pretty much game over.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Miyuki.
This makes sense. I mean, get her out of... Okay, never mind. This means that Yami has a harder time killing.
Right, exactly. Actually, this is the smart play here, because now Yami is not able to attack Miyuki, since you are never going to be able to land in a hex that you have line of sight to Miyuki. So it would require a +2 or better on the flip.
Yeah, and so, assuming Kalibra leads here, Kirito then has the choice to give himself an insurance plan. Yeah, so he does lead. And he can knock down a Nexus, or he can head into the dome and try and secure that last kill.
Right.
Or the last 2 kills, which seems far more worth your while.
Right. Yep, that is correct, Mean Lady. So, yeah, 2 on the stack is, in fact, not redundant. So what you have to do, you do have to let the first one resolve fully. Otherwise, of course, you end up not being able to redirect it because of how the stack resolves itself. But once the first redirect resolves, then absolutely drop your own redirect and say, nope, we're going back to the original target, and then proceed with whatever your original scheme was.
Yeah. And I think you can also redirect a redirect before it resolves if there's another effect on the stack that you can also redirect.
Also true. That is correct as well.
Yeah, it's just now you've created spaghetti on
that is right. Yes, you've created spaghetti coding in a turn-based board game, which is actually an impressive feat in and of itself.
So we do see a worship come
Ooh,
out.
okay.
Maybe he's hunting for a +3 or something?
Well, he only needs +2, right? Because Miyuki will have 0 armor being in line of sight of Hokusai, so...
Ah! It only hits the 1.
Not gonna get the kill. So here's the thing. You could, as Yami, skate over the minion and then skirmish into the dome. You're going to win the lane regardless, and then going in the dome guarantees that you win that as well. Use the outsider to kill off Miyuki.
I think you just move in and lead.
Yeah, or you can just do this too. This also works.
Because the minions are going to get killed anyways
right.
by your minions that you have in the lane.
Yeah, and honestly, as Ryan at this point, you're not concerned about this because this sets up your second onslaught point, and Neliclin is not in a good shape here. So you basically just want to get as much damage because Ryan's win condition now is going to be the onslaught, and honestly, I'm not sure that Kalibra has the resources left to prevent that.
Yeah, I mean, it's way too much damage to try and fight through. It's like we had talked about kind of towards the beginning. Your damage rate's red.
Yes. Risky proposition. So we do see the 2 minions killed. Minions are going to respawn in the lane there. Ryan has 6, Kalibra has 2, so Ryan does not really care about lane 1 at all anymore at this point. This is turning into a dome brawl. You love to see it. And now we finally get the outsider on the field. Unfortunately, because for some reason the Scourge is showing the card, so we're just going to bring the outsider up on the screen while Ryan figures out how to place it. Outsider must be placed across the dome's perimeter. 1 foot in, 2 feet out, or 2 feet in, 1 foot out. The normal 3 ranged attack, that's going to be enough to sink Miyuki. Actually, you might even, if it's Ryan, you might actually just try to shockwave Miyuki and kill her there if you're feeling a little bit confident in your deck. Divine Conduit lets you take a worship action. Of course, you could also just do that. That's a little bit safer. You have your Yami take the worship action, kill off Miyuki guaranteed this time. Draw a power card as Ryan. I don't think you really need to do that too much. You're going to get 2 at the start of the round. You're going to get 1 for killing off Miyuki, so you're pretty good on card draw. I feel like Ryan is going to use Divine Conduit, Shockwave, and the attack action here.
Yeah, get every bit of damage that you can out of this activation.
And Zergul says, I sound much louder than you, so I will have to turn myself down a little bit.
Oops.
I apologize. I will turn Mateus up a little bit, and I will turn myself down. And I will also pull back a little bit from the mic, so hopefully that looks a little bit more balanced, because...
Skirmishes onto Miyuki.
Ooh.
Okay. It's like the least likely thing I expected there.
Okay, well, that is a 0+. Interesting.
Dead Miyuki.
Still works, though. Dead Miyuki.
Attacks Neliclin.
Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe he doesn't want to push somebody.
Right. You don't want to shockwave Neliclin in this scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, he does shockwave Neliclin.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, that works.
I mean, gets a lot of damage out of it, too.
Yeah, okay, and so now it's turn 3. So Yami activates and just auto-kills Neliclin, is basically what happens here. So... even with a sinkhole, with a sinkhole, to be fair, you could get Yami out of the range of Neliclin there. Or, I'm sorry, I should say Neliclin out of the range of Yami with a sinkhole from Kalibra, but then you just wait until somebody else activates and you just kill Neliclin out that way. Like,
yeah, I mean, there is a card that we really encouraged Kalibra to bring. It's called Recall.
It's true. We did.
If there was ever a time where I wish you could play it.
Isn't Recall an action, though, or is it a reaction?
It is. It is.
Okay, yeah, because I've never actually used that card. That's one of those cards of, like, I know it exists, and I kind of know what it does, but I've never actually used it.
Yeah. So, now, with Ryan, he has his pick of the litter on how he wants to blow it up.
Yes. Ooh, and it's going to be a Karumo Judgment. And so that's Karumo's Judgment.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it.
Yeah. I'll bring that up for the viewers real fast. So Karumo's Judgment, as you can see, 3 piercing damage to each marked enemy hero. Apply marked to all enemy heroes otherwise. And Neliclin had 3 hit points left, which means kaboom, kaboom, raining hellfire and brimstone, and goodbye, Neliclin. Good game by Onslaught. Let's go talk with the players.
Yeah.
You cannot take it back. The Hokusai's dead.
no, I'm attacking.
Hokusai's dead. No.
Hokusai's dead, Ryan. Bye bye.
Hokusai's dead. Use suicide.
Boom. All right, so that is actually important because Ryan is still king, which means that is yet another hero off the field for you. So Ryan is actually the latest victim of, oh, by the way, Karumo's judgment hits my own characters too.
Yeah, this is also the second week in a row where he loses the hero he was told to bring.
Accurate! So that means, I guess, next week we make him bring... Who else do we want to get him to make him lose?
Frail?
Well, Kalibra, do you have any suggestions?
Yep.
Let me see. I don't know, maybe Zakol.
Ooh, I liked it. I like
Zakol
it.
is good.
He is good. I love to hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a fun game. I was not counting on that redirect. That was...
Yeah, don't worry. Mateus and I expressed several moments of vocal disappointment whenever that came down. We were like, oh my god, this vendetta is the greatest thing. Oh, and there's Ryan with the anti-fun.
So when you actually... I was actually planning to use that redirect when you, like... I was expecting you to try and push Miyuki away with Shadris to make me free away from... Or make me 4 away from Neliclin. And I was planning to use the redirect to make you push yourself. To push your own Miyuki and keep it slow.
You can't do that.
Shadris
enemy minion says.
It is an...
Enemy hero.
Oh no, it does say that! No, you're right. Okay, you could do that. Huh! That would have actually been pretty cool tech.
Yeah, and then I was going to use that third vendetta with Yami to... Oh, I never played it. I had a third vendetta in here. I was going to use that with after you gave yourself slow with that to get better value, but then I had to use redirect differently.
Right.
You know, I'm going to show you my hand. Look, I had this and this.
Oh!
And this.
Oh,
and this.
No!
I would draw so... Look at this. I would draw refract, and I would like double Kurumo with Neliclin and refract with someone else for...
Oh, that would have been pretty good.
Plus damage.
Yeah, that would have been pretty nice.
So, after I mulliganed round 1, my hand was Soulstream, Sinkhole, Dance of Death, and Triple Vendetta.
No.
Nice. Nice.
Nah, tough to deal with. Tough.
Yeah.
I can hold. I can take a bunch of damage like with the Shader's Illusion. I can protect my heroes, but red yellow is just really difficult to deal with. You know.
Yes.
I think I should have gone for right breach, some pressure. You take the outsider turn 1. I don't know. Maybe.
You should have refracted my Kurumo's judgment.
I couldn't. I could actually. Yeah.
I mean, the same heroes die.
No, you couldn't.
No, I cannot.
Yeah, he's not within line of pillar.
There's no target.
Yeah.
And actually, if I refracted your, even if I could, right? Like the pillar was here. Oh no, no pillars. Okay.
Yeah.
But even if I could, I would suicide myself because Nalk is marked. I would kill myself.
Right.
I mean, no, we're dying anyway.
Yeah.
It's going out with style.
Exactly.
It was a fun game.
It was very fun to watch. Well played by both of you.
Yeah, that
Very
was
good
awesome.
game.
It's always fun playing you, Kalibra. It's been too long.
The same man, yeah, true.
Oh my god, you two sound like a bunch of boomers right now.
Oh. S2.
Next, you're going to tell me you want your skirmishes to be 2 separate moves.
Yeah. And not have targeting.
Yeah.
Alright.
No, it's a good thing I use Kurumo's judgment, okay? I'm not a huge fan of Hogosai, and now you guys can't make me use it.
That's actually accurate. It could have been a strategic ploy there. But per the rules of Skytear Sunday, yeah, you can no longer use Hokusai, which means the pile of bodies that have accumulated under your reign now grows.
Unfortunately, by doing that, I am no longer following this in the steps of Pythoner and have killed a non-green hero.
He's red-green, close enough.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
All right, well, gentlemen, any final thoughts before we go ahead and wrap this wonderful game up?
I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for streaming.
Of course.
Thanks Ryan for playing. And yeah, it's super fun. Thanks.
Play more Skytear.
Yes.
All right. Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. On behalf of Ryan and Kalibra and my co-commentator, Mataiz, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week when we go for Ryan's On Fire week of 3 streak, and his challenger will be coming up shortly. Have a good day.